I'm coming to you now on Saturday, September 5th, 2020. I'm coming to you now just to talk a little bit about risk and risk assessment and risk tolerance, because I want to make sure that everybody knows that whatever form of worship they have determined is the right one for them right now is probably the right one for them. I want to make sure everybody understands there's almost nothing in this world at this moment that is zero risk. Almost anything. So whether you're ordering food or getting your groceries delivered, any of those kind of things, there's almost nothing in this world that is zero risk from COVID-19. It is a very serious threat to us, and it is something we really have to manage. So the questions you have to ask yourself are things like, okay, so if I'm asking myself, is it safe to see somebody I haven't seen in a long time? The first questions you ask are, where are you going to see them, indoor, outdoor? How long are you going to see them, 5 minutes or 5 hours? Are you going to be masked while you're doing that? Or are you going to be eating, which means you won't be masked for the whole time? Or if we decide, I don't know if I'm going to go to the church building. How do I feel about going to the church building? You might have to ask yourself some questions like, how long will I be in the building? How much do I know about who else is using the building? How many people will be attending at this in-person worship when we use the building? All of those things you might be wondering. I guess I should point out that there are very few of our outside groups that are using our building at this space. We expect Girl Scouts to start soon. There is an AA group that's been meeting. They mostly take their chairs and meet out in the parking lot. So there are very few groups per se, whether outside groups or church groups, that are using our facility at this moment. Also, you should know that at this point, I expect this Sunday morning worship, in-person worship opportunity to only be maybe 10 to 20 people. For the 6th, I think we have an RSVP of 6 people. We could certainly handle more than 6 people. One of the things we've had to think about is how do we create space so that if there are more people than we expect, what do we do? Probably the first thing we do is open the sliding wall between the sanctuary and the fellowship hall. So that's just something you should know we've thought about, we've considered. Everybody, as they come in for worship, whether they're coming in as a musician or a worship leader, or whether they're coming in for the 11 o'clock in-person worship, will be temperature screened, will be asked to wear a mask, will be encouraged to use hand sanitizer. All of those things will be true. I want to especially encourage those of you, whichever worship opportunity feels like the right one to you, to pick that worship opportunity. Do not feel like you are shortchanging the church by not showing up, by only doing virtual worship. Do not feel like you are shortchanging the church by not attending virtual worship. Each person has to make their own decision based on risk assessment, based on their own comfort level, based on the things that they have done in other places in their lives as well. And because of that, we want to make sure everybody feels comfortable. Nobody should feel pressured to have to do it the same way as others. So for now, and I expect, assuming everything goes according to plan, assuming we do not go backwards in phases, I expect that we will continue doing both a 9:30 live stream worship with music and an 11 o'clock in-person communion service without music until probably the end of the year. I'm guessing this because we may find out that a different pattern works better for us, so it may be that we change along the way. But my plan is at this point to make sure we for sure have a virtual option and an in-person option that are somehow available through the end of the year. I expect it's going to go longer than that. I just want to make sure you hear me say that we are not abandoning either one of these opportunities. Some of you may feel like you can participate better when you have the live stream at home, and you may feel more comfortable singing. You may feel more comfortable seeing the faces, seeing my face as a worship leader up there. You may feel more comfortable hearing the music that is sort of common music to our congregation. If that's the case, you feel comfortable doing that virtual worship service. That is wonderful for you. If for some reason you do not have internet access, or your internet access is a little sketchy, or you simply really want an opportunity to go someplace where you see the face of people you know and you care about, and you can see them in person, and somehow that just brings joy to your heart, then you should feel free to come to our 11 o'clock in-person communion worship service on Sundays. I hope that each person will find the thing that is most spiritually fulfilling, that fits their risk level, and that works for their understanding of where they can experience God's presence. God is with us in all of those opportunities. It's up to you to determine what's the right one for you.